Eerie harpsichord music, according to the subtitles. Hello everybody, it's Adam here again. Today, very special day for a number of reasons. Nothing to do with Lady Gaga and Bad Romance, just by the luck of the draw. This is the one that kicks off proceedings. God almighty, this has had loads and loads of views. Over 1 billion. I'm sure Poker Face only had 500 million. This has had 1,200,000,000 views. Eerie harpsichord music and all. Anyway, it's a very special day because this kicks off No That's What I Call Music 75, which is a special occasion in itself, 75th birthday in terms of volumes. And in terms of actual years, it's their very first now of 2010s. Released about 10 years ago, late March 2010. So we're coming into kind of the home straight now, really. Bit of top level stuff for anyone who's either not seen these videos before or maybe just needs a reminder of what this is all about. It's basically musical reviews. There's one question above all others that we're asking is, which of these songs still sound good? Which ones have stood the test of time? Which ones have transcended whatever scene or whatever genre, whatever era they come from? And there's something a bit more universal about them. So that no matter how old you are, what gender you are, what race you are, what country you come from, whatever taste you got in music, on a purely musical level, you can recognise something good about these songs. And if we look back, all the way from now 1 to now 75, I maintain that it's been a fairly consistent level of classics on pretty much all of them. Some volumes have been particularly good, some have been particularly bad. All in all though, I think the level of classic songs hasn't really gone downhill from now 1 to now 75. I think each now has pretty much a good 5 to 10 classics, timeless songs that could have come out in any era. Some have up to 20 good songs, some have as few as just maybe 3 or 4. All in all, I think the last few nows, from 60 onwards, have been pretty good, to be honest. I don't think music's got any worse. I think there's more of it. There's just more stuff around. The nows themselves have gone from 30 songs to 40, 45. So it's only natural there will be a bit more filler, maybe. Without further ado, let's crack on. This is Lady Gaga's 3rd or 4th consecutive entry now. 4th, I think. Just Dance, Poker Face, Paparazzi in this one. Like all of them, it's very easy to be kind of cynical about it. And there's a lot to criticise about Lady Gaga. It's self-evidently contrived and fake. We've talked about this. But equally, I've said that's not the end of the world. Because it's almost breaking the fourth wall. It's letting us in on it. So it's quite conceptual stuff. Is it Emperor's New Clothes, or is there anything a bit more meaningful about it? This particular song doesn't really do a lot for me on a lyrical level, the way that maybe Poker Face and Paparazzi, to a certain extent, I'll say to a certain extent, seem to be kind of playing with pop music a bit meta. This one just seems to be a bit more one-dimensional. Sings in a foreign language, it says here. I don't know why the subtitles have come on, but I don't want to be friends. Oh, 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 oh. I want you back. I don't want to be friends. Caught in a bad romance. It's one-dimensional, isn't it? It's not Shakespeare. Doesn't make it bad, though. But equally, doesn't make it great. It's had 1 billion views. So it's obviously popular. It just leaves me a bit cold, really. As does the next one, 303, featuring Katy Perry. Katy Perry's significantly worse than Lady Gaga, because at least Lady Gaga has got some kind of brains in there somewhere. But Katy Perry just seems to be thick as pig shit from where I'm standing. Alright, she's made a lot of money, and she's famous and rich, so she can't be that thick, I suppose. But I find it very basic, really, and 303 are appalling. The actual chorus is not too bad, it's fairly catchy. The verses are horrendous. And a lot of time with stuff like that, you say, is it that I'm not the right demographic for it? But a good song wins you over regardless of demographic, as you should be seeing shortly, where I admit to liking some stuff that really isn't aimed at me because it's good. And that's something I'm trying to really engender in people. If you're interested, I'm not trying to force you, but I'm just trying to raise awareness of critical thinking, really. And you can take any song by any artist, whether you've heard it a million times or whether you've only heard it once, and you can try and listen critically. And why I think that's good for society is I think it takes you out of yourself. I think it helps you empathise and understand why people like stuff that maybe you don't like, or why they don't like what you do like. And it's not about changing your own opinion, but it's just about understanding how music affects different people in different ways. And I think that can only be good, really, not just in terms of musical appreciation, but life appreciation, critical thinking as a whole. Why people like stuff, why people think the way they do, how stuff's successful, why is it successful, on what level is it successful. There's a lot of talk about populism at the moment in terms of politics. So what better way to really understand the nature of populism than to look at the pop charts? I really hope these videos do have some kind of social history and cultural importance to them, if that doesn't sound incredibly pompous. And I'm just a passenger, really. I'm just an observer. What's really got the cultural importance is the Now series as a whole. It's quite incredible. It's been there since 1983. New ones just come out, even in this Corona era. Empires have risen and fallen, and yet the basic format of the Now album stays the same. I think that's genuinely worthy of some kind of academic study. I really do. And you guys, I guess, are giving me peer review for this, so please do review my reviews and let me know what you think. And together, hopefully, this is just a bit of posterity, a bit of musical history captured for as long as YouTube decides to keep it up there. Alright, enough yakking. Black Eyed Peas, and another big hitter of a song. 306 million views. Now bear in mind, that's only a third of what Lady Gaga had. But even so, 306 million views is astronomical, really. It's the best Black Eyed Peas song for an awful long time. It's funny, they seem to have bottomed out, and they're kind of getting good again now. Maybe their break and the side projects did them good. It's clearly, it's still very pop, but it's got a good catchy chorus. It's got a bit more of the emotional intelligence that I was talking about on Shut Up and stuff. It's more kind of relationship based, instead of just going on about her lady lumps, boom, pow, pow and all that. So yeah, I quite like this one. It's a good return to form. Now, what was that I was saying about stepping outside yourself and understanding why stuff works, even if you're not in the right demographic? JLS, Everybody in Love. I gave it a cursory listen, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's got a good chord sequence. It is uber boy band in terms of musical structure, but that doesn't mean it's bad music. It's music that's fit for purpose. Now, I don't like really boy bands. I don't really listen to them. I often gloss over them. I'm really not the demographic, but good music transcends that. And I think Everybody in Love is actually pretty good, to be honest. I won't be playing it myself. Well, maybe. But, I doff my cap to it. Ayaz by Replay, not so much. It's not bad, it's just incredibly generic. It's yet another of his kind of 4-chord songs. I don't think it's of any cultural significance to anyone outside anyone who heard it when it came out. If you were there, you went on holiday, or you went to a bar or a club and you heard it, it might bring back good memories, sure. But I don't think it's changed the world. I don't think anyone coming to it now with fresh ears will go, wow, this is an amazing song. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Pass Out by Tiny Temper. I like the music on it. I think it's pretty inventive. There's an awful lot going on there. It's very well produced. I'm not a particularly big fan of his voice. We're getting to a point where quite a lot of these sort of post-grime people are coming in now. For better or worse. As always, take them on an individual basis. Some are better than others. This one is just a bit second rate for me. Okay, TikTok. Did she have any idea when she put this one out how important those two words would become culturally 10 years from now? That's what you call cultural relevance. Someone somewhere thought TikTok would be a good name for an app. I've not got into TikTok yet. In fact, I find it quite disturbing. Having looked at some of the the sort of rules and regulations and the secret censoring they do for people who are sort of unfit looking or look like they come from deprived areas. It's pretty fascist. So I'm not a big fan of TikTok. As for the song itself, well, okay, I did talk about this last time when Dr. Luke popped up as one of the co-songwriters for About You Now, by the Sugar Babes. He was one of the writers with Kathy Dennis. I'm playing this song because it is part of musical and even news history. In fact, the news is still going on. I'm sure you all know the story. If not, there's an awful lot to it, and I do suggest you read on it. I don't want to get any facts wrong or anything. I don't know exactly what happened. What's common knowledge is that Kesha, who sings this, and Dr. Luke, who wrote or co-wrote and co-produced it, ongoing court case, all sorts of really, really horrible accusations flying around. He was accused of raping her. The record company Sony accused of keeping her in a bad faith contract, forcing her to work with a producer that's basically got no respect for her, ditto. The whole thing's a miasma of really bad vibes. And this is the dark and evil side of corporate pop. It's not as simple as just not liking the songs. There's actually a kind of exploitative element of it as well, which has come out in Hollywood a lot with the Epstein stuff. As for pop music, obviously in England we had Savile and all that back in the 70s, so nothing new. But this is, the sort of 2010s version of the same old story. What people do for fame and money, and why those songs that glamorise being a rock star, they can seem quite predatory sometimes, trying to lure people into a life of, quite dark stuff. But then musically, I like good pop music, so it's a tricky one. It's a very tricky one, and this certainly gets you thinking and talking about it. The song itself is generic. It's yet more in the post-Dave Spoon paradigm that I've talked about. I always say go back to Dave Spoon at night, and then you hear where all these songs came from musically. A lot to talk about, and it's had 500 billion views. Wow. That bit reminds me of Baltimore, Tarzan Boy. Oh. Alright, okay, Timbaland and Katy Perry again. It's yet another one where the beats are appalling. For someone who's renowned for being supposedly doing the best beats in the business, the sound quality is very muddy, and I was wondering if it was just like a low-res upload, but it's not. It's all the versions I find. They really sound like kind of 128-bit MP3 quality, but it's got a good chorus. And I do think Timbaland's overpraised to his drum programming, maybe underpraised his actual songwriting and choruses. In this case, he sings as well, and he's got a good voice. So if we ever meet again, my appraisal of that one is that the beats are the worst thing about it and the production, but he's got a good voice, he's got a good chorus, and it's quite a fun collab, I suppose. If anything, with Katy Perry can be described as fun. Mixed bag. Jason Derulo, In My Head. It's another one that's very, very well produced, bit anonymous, a bit kind of forgettable. Nothing really specific about it that stands out. Rihanna and Rudeboy, not too bad. I'll stick it on because there's two Rihannas on this one. There's Rudeboy and another one which we'll tell you about later. We'll stay tuned if you want to hear it. Yet another big hitter here. We're talking over 500 billion views again, about on a par with Kesha and TikTok. It's Rudeboy. Yet more kind of incredibly electronic, incredibly processed, sort of computerized pop music. It's kind of got a bit of a Caribbean feel, almost steel drummy. Did I say sting drum? Steel drummy. That's okay. Okay, Chipmunk. Yeah, he's another one who's a bit second rate, really. He has his moments. I just don't think he's got a lot of vocal skills, really. And there's someone coming up in a bit, and I'll refer back to this one because I want you to compare and contrast the vocal dexterity of Chipmunk and the guy that I'll be talking about shortly. So, a bit mediocre. Okay, that's followed. Right, okay, interesting. By the first of two versions of the same song. I'll play the second one, not this one. It's Don't Stop Believing by the Glee cast this time. So Glee was coming onto our screens. My nephews used to love that back in the day. And it's kind of an American anthem, Don't Stop Believing. We'll come back to it shortly. But for now, it's the Glee cast. Okay, Gabriella Chilmey's back with On a Mission. It's pretty fast, it's pretty up-tempo. It's fairly good quality pop, really, yeah. Quite good. I don't know how well known it is nowadays. Broken Hills by Alexandra Burke is a significant improvement on Hallelujah. It's not that Hallelujah was really bad as such, it's just it was an inappropriate version of a song that was so special and unique that her version of Hallelujah was really just crass in a way. It's not really a reflection on her, it's more a reflection on TV, reality TV as a medium. Broken Hills is actually perfectly good. It's fairly original, upbeat, a bit more kind of mambo-y sounding stuff. So yeah, not too bad. Okay, Sugar Babes, About a Girl. It's not too bad. It's better than that awful one about Get Sexy. But it does feel a bit like their heart's not really in it. Like they're just kind of churning them out a bit. They feel like they're almost at the end here now, and they're just sort of staggering all over the finishing line. So yeah. Ego by the Saturdays. It's another one. I love their song names, Issues and Ego and stuff. They sound like me having an argument with someone. All of us though. And I suppose that's what makes them human, isn't it? We can all relate to stuff like that. How many of you watching this have not had a go at someone about their ego or about their issues? So it's fairly kind of like down to earth stuff. Human relationships. Yeah, not too bad, not too great. Okay, well at least this next one's memorable if nothing else. I almost want to play it out of perverse, weird, just kind of masochism maybe. And I think I will, just for jokes. Because I have got a sense of humour. Sometimes. It's Jedward. Woo! It says featuring Vanilla Ice. So if you thought Ice Ice Baby was the worst thing he ever did, does this improve? Or does it ruin it? What do you make of this then? I don't know how much I'll actually end up playing, but I think we can have just a few moments. It's only had 1 million views, really. They've kind of done the obvious, really, which is just to kind of mash up Under Pressure by Queen and Ice Ice Baby. Oh God, why did I play this? What was I thinking? Alright, now, on a similar kind of ilk, I suppose, Justin Bieber, One Time. Can't believe he'd been around since 2010, and he's still around. Did anyone think he'd still be going 10 years later? It's another one that you've really got to step outside yourself. You've got to imagine that you've never heard anything about him, but you're a space alien who's come down to planet Earth. Ooh, what is this thing you Earthlings called? Justin Bieber. Ooh, he's a pop star, is he? Ooh, let's have a listen. And you've got to try and filter out everything you thought you knew about it and just listen to it on its musical merits. Alright, he's tiny, he's a kid at this point. But then if you go back to the very first Now, we had Now One and Candy Girl by New Edition, and look what happened with people like Bobby Brown afterwards. So, you know, you've got to listen to it in that context. It's the first time ever by a child performer, and whatever you think of him, you've got to listen to it in that context. Alright, adult ears. It's not too bad, actually. I would say it's actually better than the one that follows it, which is Jay Sean and Sean Paul, as opposed to Jay Paul and Sean. Do you remember? Yeah, it's actually better than that, even though it's kind of fairly similar. It's all just generic kind of pop by numbers. But realistically, the Justin Bieber one's not too bad. I'm never going to be a fan of it. But yeah. Okay, Pixie's back again. Pixie Lot with Cry Me Out. And that one's okay. In fact, that's very good indeed. I've liked all her stuff so far. This one's kind of her version of a big ballad. And yeah, very good. Quite classy. Okay, now it's, let me get the pronunciation right, Joe Mcelderry and The Climb. And that's another one that's from The X Factor. Very meh. It's more kind of Simon Cowell stuff. Followed up by a charity record again, Everybody Hurts by Helping Haiti. Let me just see who was on that. There was a lot of famous people on it. And it's the old R.E.M. song that was first on now 25, I think, way long ago. And yeah, it's a reasonably good version on it. Let me just see who's actually on it. Okay, we have a fair old group of people here. Blimey. Rod Stewart, Leona Lewis, Mariah Carey, Mika, Cheryl, Michael Bublé, Miley Cyrus, James Blunt, Gary and Mark from Take That, John Bon Jovi, Alexandra, Burke, James Morrison, Jason from Take That, Robbie from Take That, even Robbie Williams. Some guys from Westlife, JLS, Susan Boyle. So there you go. It's a real melange of different people. And yeah, it raised money for Haiti. So reasonable cover of a great song for a good cause. Okay, now here's one I really do like. This is Alicia Keys, and this is the first time I really like this. Now, let me just get the background of this one right, because it's actually Jay-Z featuring Alicia Keys, and there's various different versions of it. Yeah, we've got to get just the Alicia Keys one on its own. As I understand it, it was originally part of an interpolation of a Jay-Z song, and then Alicia Keys actually did a kind of totally solo, almost acoustic-y version of it. And that's quite a weird way of doing a song, really, starting with a kind of hip-hop thing. And then normally it's the other way around. Normally they'd take, they'd start with the acoustic thing and then build a hip-hop thing around it. So yeah, I really like how this one came into being. And it's a really, really good version. I'd probably say I actually prefer this version of the two. I really do. It's really nice, really haunting. She's got a great voice, and it's a really nice song with really good lyrics. So yeah, good stuff indeed. City Fireflies. It's a bit meh, but it was a massive song, very big in America, I think. It's not too bad, not too great. Mr. Hudson's back with Young Forever, with Jay-Z featuring Mr. Hudson. Very, very catchy one, that. It's quite haunting, great chorus. Yeah, I like it a lot. Cheryl Cole and will.i.am, God, they did a lot of stuff together, didn't they? 3 words. It's quite low-key, really. It's a bit minimal. It's not over-commercialised, and unlike a lot of will.i.am stuff, it's not very gimmicky. It's actually fairly Spartan. And yeah, not too bad. You know me, Robbie Williams. Okay, his return to top standard again. It's quite a kind of swingy ballad thing. It's well up there with things like, well, I won't say it's quite up there with Angels, but it's definitely good, really good quality stuff. So yeah, I like that one a lot. Okay, well, I was talking about it earlier. Let's stick it on. We're going for some real all-American stuff here, aren't we? This is almost the American national anthem. We had Glee doing it earlier. Here's Journey. So it was actually originally done in the well early 80s, like 1981, I think. 116 million views. So an awful lot, but it's still only a tenth of what Bad Romance had. Wow. Yeah, it's one of those songs that it's not verse, chorus. It takes a while to actually get to the chorus. It's quite linear in structure, and it kind of slowly builds. So Journey, they're very kind of AOR, but this song it's a really anthemic song. And yeah, like I said, it's almost an American national anthem. Okay, after the abomination of their version of You've Got the Love, I'm glad to say that Florence and the Machine's Dog Days Are Over. I didn't like her voice on that, but I kind of like it on this. She's got a weird voice. It's got to be married to the right choice of song. This is one where you read through the comments and you really see how much resonance it's had with a lot of people. A lot of people really feel a lot with it, and it reminds them of dark times in their life. So give that one a free pass. Florence and the Machine, Dog Days Are Over. Okay, now this next song is called Hollywood, but she's Welsh, so maybe it should have been called Hollyhead. Straight out of Abergavenny, it's Marina and the Diamonds. It's not the best song they did. I really liked another one that we'll come on to. But it's always nice to have someone Welsh in the charts, because I'm a bit of a Taffo-phile, really. I can't wait to get back to Wales when the lockdown's over, go off to Snowdonia, maybe even climb Snowdon. I digress. As you'd expect from someone from the valleys, she's got a fair old set of pipes. So that's Marina and the Diamonds. Now, the other side of the Black Mountains, over into Herefordshire now, for Ellie Goulding and her first appearance. Is she the best pop star to ever come out of Hereford? Starry Eyed. Pretty good song again. Nice voice. Yeah, not bad at all. Biffy Clyro follows that with Many of Horror. And that's the first real kind of guitar-y one we get. Have you noticed that the guitar songs are getting fewer and fewer between now? And they're kind of being pushed onto the end of side 2. But that's not a bad song actually, it's pretty good. Now, Plan B, Stay Too Long. I might upset a lot of people with what I'm going to say now. The rap should not be on it. Same as another one of his that we'll come on to later. It's not that he's a bad rapper, it's just that it's out of place, it doesn't suit it. Now, we'll compare that with Wiley featuring Emil Sandé, Naughty Boy Presents Never Be a Woman, the song that follows afterwards. For a start, I think Wiley is way better. He's way better than Plan B, but he's way better than people like Chipmunk and Tiny Temper. Wiley's got much more intensity to his voice. His flow's faster. It's just more on point. It feels like it's deeper. So of all the kind of post-grime people, I think Wiley takes the honours. In fact, I'm going to get it on Never Be Your Woman. It also samples White Town, Your Woman, which was on Now 36, I think. And Emily Sandé we've had before. So yeah, it's a real kind of mixed bag of various different elements. But above all, the reason I think I prefer this to the Plan B one, I was thinking this, tell me what you think. I think it's like mixing concrete. If you want to make cement, you've got some concrete, you've got some sand, or another kind of maybe metaphor. If you want to make a drink of squash, you've got some water and you've got the concentrate. Now, I feel that with these grime vocals, they should be the main component of a song. I don't think they work when there's like 4 or 16 or 4 or 8 bars of grime in the middle of a kind of sung vocal thing. I think the dynamics work better where most of the vocal is this. It's got a kind of ballast, the weight to it, and then you just sprinkle over the top of it a bit of sung vocal for a bit of airiness and lift. What Plan B does is the other way round. Most of the song is sung, which puts it at a certain kind of height, if you like, and then the kind of rap bit comes in and it brings it down, and it's the wrong way round. That's just my take on it. I've never heard anyone say that before, and I'm interested to know what you think. But if you're going to have some kind of rap or grime vocal mixed with some singing, I think it always works better when the lion's share of it, the main lead vocal is the grime bit, and the sung bit is like a good chorus. I don't think it really works well where you've got mainly sung vocals and just a little bit of rap. It's kind of out of place. And the reason I say that is these two songs illustrate that perfectly, I think. Plan B, Stay Too Long, great sung vocals, let down a little bit of rap in the middle. This one, Wiley, I think that the structure's much better. The kind of heaviness comes from the vocals, and there's just a little bit of sung stuff in the middle that gives it a kind of levity. Interesting, anyway. Example, Won't Go Quietly. It's just bland. Nothing to say about that one, really. Okay, now another really good one. This is a kind of poppy remix of one that was a real kind of underground electric hit. The electro one was just called Riverside, Motherfuckers. Obviously, they didn't think that would be very family friendly, so they pulled out the motherfucker and they just put in a Let's Go bit. They've also got some guys called Wizard Sleeve on it. And yeah, this works really well. The rap works fine on this one, I think. In fact, it adds something to the song. It's got a really good kind of electro riff, and their vocals actually work really well on it. So, big fan of this one. Not going to get to play very much of it because I'm going to play the next one as well. But yeah, that's Sydney Sampson and Wizard Sleeve, Riverside. Let's go. Always makes me think of a River Wharf, that one, my local river. Well, I'm kind of halfway between a River Wharf and a River Air, really. Now, let me get this pronunciation right. Gramophone Z, why don't you? And I guess this is the first time Electro Swing makes an appearance. We've had some kind of pure swing. We had things like Dupe about 10 years ago. But yeah, this is pure electro swing now, which could be a bit gimmicky, but I really like this one. It's swingy, it's funky, it's got a good kind of house rhythm. So yeah, that's good stuff. Gramophone Z, why don't you? This is the one that's got that sample, Show Me the Money. Let me find out who sang that originally. Should know. Right. Peggy Lee, 182, right, there we go. Okay, so that's Peggy Lee, as featured by Gramophone Z on Why Don't You. Okay, Lamar with The Way Love Goes. It's not one of his best. It feels like they kind of modernised his sound a bit. It does feel like it's kind of getting a bit more homogenised than some of his other stuff. N-Dubs featuring Mr. Hudson. Blimey, that Mr. Hudson, he's everywhere, isn't he? I think Dappy's a spare prick at the wedding on that one. Talisa and Mr. Hudson do great performances with each other. And if it was just them on their own, it'd probably be better. Dappy's just kind of the annoying guy who's interfering. Like he's blagged the mic at the wedding disco and he won't leave it alone. Okay, possible contender for the best song on the album. Next. And again, this is one that's really, really good. In a very varied form. It's Chitty Bang and Opposite of Adults. I didn't think I'd like Chitty Bang with a name like that. It just sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? Chitty Bang. But when you think laterally, what are the opposite to adults? Yup, they're kids. What was my favourite song? And I think it was now 72 or 73. It was 72, wasn't it? Yeah. What was my favourite song on that? It was MGMT and Kids. Yeah. So it's brilliant what he's done to it, actually. It's really inventive. When someone's taken one of your favourite songs, and I've got to say it really is one of my favourite songs, and they've kind of mashed it up, you're always a bit kind of doubtful. Are they going to massacre it like Florence and the Machine massacred You Got the Love? But no. I really like this. I like how he's kind of changed the rhythm of it. Again, I wouldn't say he's the best rapper in the world, but I feel he's got kind of emotion in there. I feel it's got a good message. I like the video. Yeah, this is really, really good. It's a good tribute to MGMT, and I'm sure it's only going to give them more royalties. So yeah, if I hadn't made that song of the album, I'd probably make this. And I might even still, but it just feels a bit weird putting two songs with the same thing in, the same music. But it's bloody good, really like it. Young Money by Lloyd, not bothered. Going back to the American shite again now. Bedrock, it's just bland. My Name by McLean. He's got a good voice, but he's trapped in this too contemporary production, and it's almost a limiting factor in trying to make something so 2010. What they've also done is they've trapped it in 2010. So it would have been uber state of the art when it came out, but now it sounds kind of tired and dated, which is a shame. It's got not a bad voice. Finally, we started the last one with Polka, and we're ending this one with Roulette. Russian Roulette, Rihanna. Remember when Darren Brown did that Russian Roulette thing? It's Rihanna, and it's more of a ballad. Her voice, which can be a bit mediocre, is actually really good on this one. Pretty good song. Okay, so what's still a classic from these then? Now bearing in mind it's only 10 years old, is it too early to really say what's a lasting classic? Well, I'd be a moron if I didn't acknowledge 1 billion people watch Bad Romance by Lady Gaga, so that's got to count for something. Meet Me Halfway by the Black Eyed Peas. I'm glad to see a return to form. Pleasantly Surprised by Everybody in Love by JLS, but I don't think you'd call it a classic. TikTok by Kesha, I think had cultural importance, for better and for worse. Mainly for worse, probably. Then Glee doing Don't Stop Believing. I think that in itself speaks volumes about its importance, but it's the original that's really the lasting classic by Journey. Then some more that are a bit meh. Jedward for kind of jokes, I suppose, Under Pressure. Justin Bieber, you know, I'm not going to win any friends for saying it's not actually that bad, but it isn't. Actually, if you analyse it on a musical level, it's not brilliant, but it's not that bad. It's not bad music. Cry Me Out by Pixie's good, Pixie Lot. Helping Haiti, Everybody Hurts. Obviously, I prefer the original, but it's a good cause. So fair play. And Empire State of Mind Part 2 by Alicia Keys. Brilliant. Great song. Possibly best on the album. You Know Me by Robbie's OK. Jay-Z and Mr. Hudson, Young Forever's pretty classic. Obviously, Don't Stop Believing. Dog Days Are Over by Florence. Pretty good. Way better than You've Got the Love. Hello Marina Diamonds. Hello Ellie Goulding. And Naughty Boy One, Never Be a Woman with Wiley. That's pretty cool. Riverside Let's Go, Sydney Sampson and Gramophonesy. I like them. Kiddie Bang, Opposite of Adults. Really good kids thing. Yeah, that's about it for classics. Anyway, that's it for Now 75. I'm wondering if I should take a break. I've got so much other stuff to do in life. I'm moving house as well. But this seems to be taking up more of my time and effort than anything else. So because it is the start of a new decade and it is number 75, I might just have a break for a couple of days. But knowing me, I'll probably get bored and want to crack on with this. So we'll see. I never promise to do them every day. I kind of reserve the right to take a break whenever, but I'm really enjoying them. So as long as I'm enjoying them, I just hope you guys are as well. And I never know when you'll see these. You might see these years from now. I hope they're timeless videos. I hope you can see them whenever, because they're about old music anyway. So what's a few weeks and months between friends? All right, everyone. See you later. Have a good one. Bye.